Welcome to Single Parent Success Stories. I'm your host, Irina Shehovsov. Today you'll hear an inspiring journey of resilience and transformation. Loretta Gavin shares how she and her sister Sharon turned an autoimmune diagnosis into a path of healing, community, and wellness. You'll learn practical tools for boosting your energy, the power of plant-based living, and why kindness and humor are non-negotiables for thriving as a single parent. Let's dive in. Welcome to Single Parent Success Stories, a podcast designed to inspire single parents. Here you'll find resources from self-care to finances to parenting and everything in between. Discover what it takes to thrive. Let the stories inspire you to what is possible. Before we start the next conversation, I want to invite you to check out my amazing book, The Gift Inside, a powerful guide for healing your body, mind, and soul. Reclaim your strengths and awaken your true potential. Whether you are navigating heartbreak or simply seeking deeper fulfillment, this book offers the tools to turn your struggles into triumphs. It is time to unlock the gift within you. Available now on Amazon, or you can check it out on my website www.irinashehovsov.com. Hello and welcome to Single Parent Success Stories. Today I'm joined by one part of the incredible sister duo, Loretta and Sharon. They are best friends, comedy partners, and founders of the hit wellness retreat, the Detox Barn. Sharon's health journey began with a rare autoimmune disease that left her in a wheelchair, but with Loretta by her side, they turned their lives around by embracing a plant-based lifestyle. No hippie vibes, just real healing. Their story is full of humor, resilience, and transformation, and now they're on a mission to help others heal, laugh, and live well. Welcome, Loretta. It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So please share with us. You have such a unique story. You're both single moms and you decided kind of join forces. How did that all come about?
Yes. Well, about 12 years ago, as you said, my sister was really sick and she had a rare autoimmune disease. So she had a small, really tiny little boy. She was really, really unable to look after him. And she was also in a very unhappy marriage. So she decided she was going to leave her husband and move in with me. I was already a single mum. My husband left when I was pregnant. So we decided to join forces. She moved in with me and it was one of the best things we ever did because we were able financially to help each other, emotionally to support each other. And yeah, it just worked really, really well. So she moved in and I was looking after her. I was looking after my daughter. I was looking after her son. And to be really, really honest, I was exhausted. We were all exhausted. And we decided that we were going to try and find a way to get her better. So we did lots and lots of research and we looked at people that got better. So we looked at people that had very similar diseases to Sharon and had managed to turn their lives around. And they had correlating factors. One of them was less stress. You know, we live in a world where obviously we all have to live with stress, but I'm talking about toxic stress. So, you know, toxic people, toxic bosses, you know, environments that it's never ending. So she decided to eradicate the toxic stress. And we then looked at diet and lifestyle. Most of them went plant-based. They gave up alcohol and they gave up processed food and sugar. So she said to me, I always remember her, she said to me, if I'm going to be a total vegan, you're going to be one too. So we did it all together and we did it slowly. We didn't do it all at once because it would be far too overwhelming. We started with alcohol first, and believe you me, coming from an Irish family, if you can give up alcohol, you can do anything. So we did that first. And then over the years, we then started going plant-based. We looked at all the we followed loads of wellness people. And slowly over time, and it took about 5 years, she managed to get off all the drugs. And now she's doing incredibly well. She's running. And yeah, she's doing amazing.
Wow, incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that you joined forces and you kind of helped each other.
Yeah, we did. And to be honest, you know, a lot of people say to me, oh, you know, You were amazing to do it with her. But to be perfectly honest, I needed to do it. I needed my energy. I knew I couldn't wake up anymore with red wine lips, shaking in the corner, thinking, oh my God, how can I cope? You know what it's like when you've got tiny children, the lack of sleep, you know, all of the other things that you've got to contend with, teething and everything else. I knew I needed the best energy I could get in order to cope with this. And what I found is it did give me more energy. I found that I was more productive. I found that I could focus more, and fundamentally I felt happier. Because I'm a little bit cynical about the wellness world. I kind of think, you know, these people screaming from Instagram saying blueberries changed my life. I'm like, did they? You know, or is it the fillers, the filters and the Botox that changed your life? Do you know what I mean? But fundamentally, I did, you know, I felt happier.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
What's the I call it? Did you face any challenges once you were together, handling it all?
Living together. I do remember when the children were young and Sharon wasn't that able, there was a lot of pressure. And I remember going away with my mum and my aunt, and I was saying, you know, I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted. And they said, why don't you get help? Why don't you try and get some help? And I said, well, I can't afford to get help. And she said, what about getting an au pair? And I'd never thought about getting an au pair, you know. I know things have changed now with Brexit, but at the time, you know, you could get an au pair. So we did, and that helped massively. Just, you know, we were, touch wood, we were blessed with the most amazing au pairs that were like angels that came into our lives. And, you know, our first au pair, Ronya, she's still a good friend, and she helped so much. She helped Sharon, because at the time she could, you know, she could hardly dress herself. You know, she was really, really sick. And this young 19-year-old who was funny and vivacious just came in and helped us, and it was incredible.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
What would you recommend or suggest for single parents who are just stepping onto the journey of single parenting?
I would say, you know, meet other people. I think it can feel very isolating being a single parent. And I know and I don't know if you felt this, but turning up to the school gates and always feeling like you haven't got a husband, and all the school events, it's like husband and wives go and partners go, and I always felt like I was a little bit on the outside. It's interesting because when they get to secondary school, more parents split up, but at primary school you feel like you're the only one. I think there was maybe one or two of us, but I think it is reaching out to other single parents, finding communities, doing things that help you feel less alone, really.
For me it felt when my first son was very little, and I used to go take her on the walks and like go in the park on the weekend, and I was the only mom with the kid. Everybody, it was other dads, because during the week it's moms, and on Saturdays, Sundays it would have been the dads.
Yes.
And for me it was always me, whether it was a weekday or a weekend, even when we were together.
Yeah.
So for me that's how I felt. And like you said, when I became a single parent, I was like this outlier, because everybody together like was married, at least on outside appeared happy, and I didn't know what this new normal looked like.
Yeah, no, I know. I always remember, I remember it was New Year's Eve, and there's a place near us that is, they do coffee, but they have a little area for children. And I remember taking Florence to this coffee and teas place, and there was this little play area, and it was like, I don't know, it must have been like 6 o'clock, and I think everybody else was getting ready for their kind of, you know, their big New Year's Eve, and I had nothing on. And I remember sitting in that coffee and teas place, being the only person there, and thinking, oh my God, my life is so sad. And I could see everyone else getting ready and, you know, obviously having dinner parties or whatever they're going to do on New Year's Eve. And I remember thinking, I really feel alone here, you know. This was before Sharon moved in with me. I think with Sharon moving in, you know, it made such a big difference, because I didn't feel like I was alone, you know.
Yeah. You're right. How did your career change as a result of becoming a single parent?
Well, I was always freelance. So my background is, me and Sharon are a comedy double act. So we, you know, wrote a lot of shows, we did a lot of comedy. And so I was lucky that I freelanced. So I do a lot of voiceovers, so I could still keep on working. And then when Sharon got better, we decided that we wanted to help others and teach them how to make changes, because I think a lot of people are lacking in energy, are feeling tired, don't feel motivated, but don't know how to make those changes. So we were looking at something else to do apart from the comedy. And we were thinking, maybe we'll do a juice bar or and then I thought, I don't want to be in a coffee shop all day, every day. I want to be able to pick up my daughter from school. So we then decided to set up a retreat that we now do once a month, where we help people just have a weekend away and have really nutritious food. It's all plant-based. I retrained as a natural vegan chef, so it's all really nutrient-dense food. They have yoga, they have a sound bath, we do workshops on how to get healthier and how to get more energy, how to change your habits, and they do a country walk. It's no alcohol, it's no phones. So by the end of it, people feel like they feel inspired to make changes and to go back with a new zest of life. And quite often we do have single mums, or we have new mums that are absolutely exhausted, and their husbands or partners have said, look, go and have 2 nights, relax, enjoy yourself, Yeah,
you're so right. And it's amazing that what you have created, it is so needed.
It is.
What is for you, for yourself, what is your one non-negotiable that you must do every day kind of to maintain your energy, your sanity? What is it for you?
Movement. So if I'm not doing a run, I will do a walk. I don't ever not exercise. I think it's the most energy inducing thing you can do. And most mornings I get up, have a cup of coffee, and then I'm out the door. I get daylight and I either run or I walk. And I just think it's a complete mood changer. And sometimes it's really hard to do, especially as a single mum, when your kids are little. It was why I took up running, was because I couldn't go to the gym. I didn't have time, and I'd have to basically get my mum over and say, look, I need to do a run, look after her while I just run for half an hour. But that took half an hour rather than driving to the gym, getting changed, and that took an hour and a half. So you kind of have to change your life a bit, don't you, in order to fit these little things in.
True, yes.
Once the kids get older, it's so much easier. So much easier. What about you? What's your one non-negotiable?
Movement as well. I have more than one.
Yes.
And another thing is I believe in habits. So singing for me is another non-negotiable that I do every day.
Really? Well, they say that's really, really good for you, don't they?
Yeah.
It's really the breath and all of that is meant to be really, really good for your brain. Yeah. And when you do something that sets your soul on fire, your mood improves. If you're feeling down, movement helps with that as well. It's the best way to change your state. If we feel down, we can just go. Yeah. In fact, I just came from a walk before meeting with you. Nice, yeah.
I like to start my day. Morning routine is important, how you start your day.
It's really important, and it affects every other decision you make, I think. If you start on the bacon butty and you sit there and don't do anything, it changes everything. So my second one is I always have a smoothie. Every day I'll have a smoothie. So this morning I did a run, so I had avocado on toast, but I will always make a smoothie and have at least one smoothie a day.
Do you have a favorite one?
Well, not really. I mean, I usually do it more for the health benefits rather than the enjoyment of it. So I add a lot of vegetables. The one that I've just made has got cruciferous veg and some nuts, some berries, a bit of turmeric, some ginger, some flax seeds, and then I blend it all with water. So if I'm really hungry, I'll blend it with like a plant-based milk.
Yeah. Well, sounds yummy.
Yeah.
Is there any book you read that kind of inspired your journey?
Oh God, I've read so many, and now you're asking me off the top of my head. The China Study is a bit of a scientific book, but I think that's a really, really good book about the power of, it basically studies people around the world and the link to food and cancer. And it's just a very in-depth book about the power of a plant-based food. What other books? Oh gosh, I've just recently read a book which is really interesting, and I interviewed her on my podcast, and it's called Ageless, and it's by Sandra Parsons. And this is all about a woman who, at 45, she smoked and she drank. And she then had a back injury. And she decided that she needed to get her health back because she was walking around like a cripple. So she went on this journey of, getting her health back. And she did all the research. She was a journalist and interviewed people and started implementing all the things that she learned. And at 64, she did a test to test how her metabolic health, and the result came back as age 20.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and she's written this book about how small things can make a huge impact on your health. You know, things like just a 20-minute brisk walk can reduce your chance every day, can reduce your chances of dying from all-cause mortality by a third. And that's all it is, a brisk walk for 20 minutes. So she gives you all these little strategies to do. And I just thought that was a really powerful and easy to follow book for people that want to improve their health.
Yeah, totally. It's in the small things that we do on a day-to-day basis that we don't even notice.
No.
We look at 1 year from now, it's totally different. It's so much more.
Yeah, I think consistency is the key. As human beings, we don't really like that though, because we like quick results, which is why people love juice fasts and smoothie fasts and lose 7 pounds in 3 days. But those things tend not to last. And as human beings, we don't realize that actually small actions every day, incrementally over time, can make a huge difference. But we don't like that. You know, I want to see quick results, you know?
Yeah. I love this book by Steve Olson. It's called The Slight Age. Exactly that concept of daily changes.
I don't know that book. Okay.
When you do kind of 1% changes every day, and a year from now, you're going to be 365 degrees better than when you started.
Yeah.
Whether it's, improving your health, getting out of bed, or any kind of thing that we do, like you said, consistency and change.
It's funny because we talk about it a lot in finances. They talk about pay yourself first, so make sure that you put money aside for you first and then whatever else you need to get, so that you keep your savings. But we don't talk about it in real life, about paying ourselves first. So, making sure that what we need to keep our energy is the first thing we need to do. The kitchen can wait. The dishwasher can wait. The thing, you have to prioritize because you can't do everything. And sometimes it means that, the kitchen's a bit messy. But if you've had a run, you feel much more likely to kind of tackle it and your energy feels good for the day.
Yeah. We're not Energizer bunnies. We gotta refill and charge our batteries before we can be anything for anybody else.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you think is the most important trait to instill in a child?
Gosh, that's a really tough question. I'm trying to think.
You can kind of take yourself back. What would you want for yourself when you were growing up?
I think to be kind, to be a kind human being. There's so much hostility in the world, and I think putting others first and understanding that, by being generous, you're actually helping yourself. Yeah, I when I see children being kind, I think, I love that. I think kindness is so important. It sounds a bit sappy, doesn't it? Be kind. But, empathy, understanding, respect, tolerance, all of those things. I'm talking from, I don't know, my daughter's a teenager at the moment. So, sometimes you kind of go, yes, yeah, it's not always easy, is it? But actually, I interviewed someone recently who's written a book called The Gift of Teenagers. And she talks about the teenage brain and why they sometimes are slightly narcissistic. And it was quite interesting to have that understanding and realize that it's a very delicate time for them and their brains. They're very, 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 very sensitive, and they're also trying to create their own persons, which is why they sometimes rebel against you. But it helped me enormously.
Who is the author? I'd like to read that one too.
It is Rachel Kelly. Rachel Kelly. It's called, The Gift of Teenagers. And it's quite a big book, but it goes through all the different stages that you might have. Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
Thank you. What is your superpower if you had to pick one?
I think the ability to laugh. Humor is so important. Even when things are, even when Sharon was really, really sick and I was going through a divorce and my mum was going through cancer, the thing that tied us all together was that we could laugh and we could smile and we could make each other laugh. And I think it just makes everything so much better.
Right. They say 5 minutes of laughter extends your longevity also for a year.
Yeah. And I just think that thing of like just looking at someone else and seeing someone do something and then just laughing, it's so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Thank you. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
I think, especially for single mums, I think understanding that everything is a stage and nothing lasts forever and things always change. And I think it's especially important when you're going through tough times because it's not a flat line. And any mum that tells you that their children are perfect and everything is brilliant, that there's something wrong with them because, it is really tough. And I think sometimes parenting can really highlight your vulnerabilities. I think it's a form of yoga, really. And sometimes you have to take a deep breath and you have to walk to the back of the garden and you have to try and not lose your shit. And it's hard. It is really, really hard. But just everything is a stage and taking a deep breath and saying, okay, this won't last forever. Let's just get through this. Let's take a moment. And then it changes. It does change.
You're right. Children don't come with instruction manuals. We get to
No.
figure it out as we go along.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself an expert in parenting. I feel it's like an evolving journey and I'm learning every single day.
Well, no one's an expert. No one is an expert. And even if you think that you are, then in 2 years' time, something will happen and you'll realize you're not an expert,
Yeah. Thank you. If
Pleasure.
people would like to connect and learn more about you, where would they go?
So our website is gavinsisters.co.uk and then Instagram we are at Gavin Sisters. I think it's at Gavin Sisters UK. 1 second. At Gavin Sisters UK.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll include everything in episode notes. It's been a pleasure to have you.
It's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.